All right. So we want to talk about the end of this thing.
Sure. Yeah, let's talk about it.
So we've been out here for a month now, 31 days, but we're not pro bikepackers. We have
No.
real world jobs, families, other stuff,
Yeah.
which means no one is happening.
Yeah. Well, as you know, a couple weeks ago, I decided that Breckenridge would be the kind of the decision point on whether to go on or not, and because our schedule was so um, off what I originally had intended, it makes sense for me to shut it down at Breckenridge. And I think what I came here to do, I accomplished, or what I was hoping to get out of this, I've accomplished. I'm not done with Tour de Bike. I think this is just concluding part one. I do want to come back and figure out how to finish this, either in chunks or again with other people. But it's been good. Like we both pushed each other. We both kind of motivated each other when we were having moments of indecision or frustration, and
Yeah.
I think that helped push us along to get to this point.
Well, and the inverse is true too, where I think we didn't end up racing it the way, at least I thought coming into this. I'd be getting up in the morning, banging out miles until I'm half dead at night. We scaled back and enjoyed it, um, which I think made for a much better experience.
Yeah.
Maybe we didn't get as far together as we would have if we'd done that, but it's been a much better time.
Yeah, I think if you race it, if you've never toured it and you only race it, you're missing so much. There's
Right.
so much to see, Martin, like the cool characters we've met along the way,
Yeah.
and the places we've stayed,
Yep.
whether it's wild camping or the church basement, things like that. Like, if we were racing, we might not have experienced any of that stuff.
Yeah. Might have flown right by.
Yeah.
Well, and I'll be honest with you, like I might have flown right by too. There's some resupply stops when we weren't riding together that I didn't know existed. I just rode right by,
Yeah.
and ended up in rough shape. So
Yeah.
thank you for
No problem.
being my seeing eye, Rob.
Yeah. Well, the other side, when you actually kind of looked ahead for the day ahead on what was up the road, and I was kind of just like 60 miles at a time, right? Just in my mind, I wasn't really looking too far ahead, which I don't know, maybe is not the best approach when you're trying to accomplish this, but I was trying to stay at the moment, I guess. Right. So,
Yeah, it turns out there's a lot of strategy to how far you do. It's not just about what you feel like on a day. It's, there's mountain passes, and then there's resupplies, and there's lodging options, but there's also a couple days past that.
yeah.
Like it may be that, I think like the basin was a great idea or a great example where, maybe we could have done further one day, but then the next day we need to figure out what we can do.
Yeah.
And so you need to do that, look ahead to make sure you're, if it's been 4 days of wild camping and you want a roof over your head, then maybe another day out, you have to figure that out.
Yeah. Or even just planning your food strategy, right? Because sometimes you have to plan like 2 breakfasts in advance or 2 meals in advance. So.
Or you do like me, you just buy the whole store and carry it with you and suffer on the climbs.
Yeah. So you're taking a rest day today
Yeah.
to collect your thoughts and figure out if you're going to the end or not.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it like at this point, now you're an inspiration to a lot of people doing this ride. Whatever decision you decide would be the right decision for you. I'm sure of it. I hope you can get to the end because it'd be great, but you have to do what's right for you. This is really physically hard and mentally taxing, right? So
Yeah.
it's tough.
Time consuming. Like, I think part of the reason we're having this conversation is I think your goal originally was 20 days, and mine was, stretch goal of 30. Really want to get there in 35. And we're on day 31, and we're 1,600 miles into it,
Yes.
which is an accomplishment, but it's 1,000 miles short of where we thought we'd be.
Yeah.
Like we missed that by a long way.
Yeah.
And so it becomes a thing. Like I said, we're not pro bike packers. We're, you know, working schlubs, and we've got family to consider.
Yeah.
Finances isn't cheap. We're paying for a hotel room, you know, plus all this candy we're eating is way more expensive than when we were kids. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that, you know, so basically I had in my head a 35-day trip plus logistics. Going forward means extending that to be a 40-day trip or a 50-day. I can't do a 50-day trip.
Yeah.
And what goes through my mind is I don't want to get stuck. Like, we're in Breckenridge now. There's a million options. You found the shuttle that brings you right to the airport. You know, you go past this, you get down into some pretty wild areas. And, you know, if you're in the middle of Abiquiu, New Mexico, how do you pull the plug? You know,
Yeah.
it becomes a thing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a, you know, I need to spend a day today to figure out if I say yes and go, can I make it to the border in the time I have and not run out somewhere? So my employer is being very flexible.
Yeah.
But I don't want to push that.
I think you have a great employer. The fact that they're letting you, giving you a chance to complete this. That's huge, right?
Unbelievable. Yeah. So lucky.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, you've got a good support structure, as we've found out. You know, between
I mean,
your wife and work and friends along the way.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. People have been just floored me with their support.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Do you have a particular moment to date on the trip that kind of, whether a good high low, good bad, that sticks out as a memorable moment?
I mean, for good or bad, night 2 coming into Fernie, I think for me was formative and kind of set the tone for the entire rest of the night. You know, that's when we were, you know, we didn't know each other at the time, but we were both up on that mountain pass, and it was midnight, raining, it was slick, it was on the side of a cliff, it was dangerous, it was wild, like, shit could really go wrong really fast up there. And for me, that kind of set the tone for the whole thing. Is I don't want to be like, this is amazing once in a lifetime thing. It doesn't mean I want to give my life to it. Like, I don't want to die on a mountain pass.
Yeah.
So I don't want to be caught on another mountain pass at night in a storm. And that really drove for me how far I was willing to go in it. You know, and if it's 2 in the afternoon, do we want to do another mountain pass, which may take us till 10 o'clock at night? And I would, because of that night, I would err towards no, let's conservative, stay here.
Yeah, I think, like I said to you, if there had been a sag wagon on day 1 or 2, I would have been in it. Like,
Yeah.
it was tough those first couple days, the unknown and the temperatures. And you're right. I realized on that mountain pass that there's always a risk in these things. Like, but you don't think of it as necessarily a life and death situation. But that being on a mountain pass after midnight when it's raining and snowing and you can't see, there's a void where you can't see what's beyond that ledge. It's unnecessary to be out there, and that was a lesson learned.
Yeah.
And daylight it is.
Yeah.
I'm not attempting a mountain pass if I can't get over it in the daylight.
Yeah. All right. So what about for you? What's been for good or bad?
Well, I have to agree. I think day 2 was kind of the reality hit, and as I was actually feeling it. It was something Ryan Van Duzer said, is that he realized that he didn't want to race it, right? He didn't enjoy racing it. And I realized the same thing. Like, I enjoy bike racing, but I enjoy a 2-hour bike race or a 3-hour bike race, 15, 30, however many days it is. I wanted to tour and experience it. So I think he kind of put what I was feeling into words, and that helped me kind of get my head wrapped around it. And then I pulled back, like, stopped, took a few more days to get out of the racer go mindset.
Yeah.
But that day 2 was kind of like an epiphany of what I wanted to get out of this event. That was great meeting you and shared
Yeah.
experience of coming down there. And then and since then, even when you tried to get rid of me in Butte, you still chased me down. So um, I'm glad we could keep going together on this and
Hell yeah.
sharing the experience.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a big factor in whether or not I continue on. And I don't want to put this on your shoulders. Like you've made the right decision for you. For me, now it's a whole different thing. I'm almost going back to that racer mindset because now it's well, part of it is terrain too. I mean, we've been going through so a lot of landmarks, Colorado, Breckenridge, and Silver Farm, stuff like that. We're now going into an area where it's more sparsely populated. There's fewer resupplies. Um, you're not going to be there, and so I would have to kind of go back to that racing mentality of, and I'm against the clock to get this done. I now need to go to where I'm getting up and pushing, doing as much as I can in a day. Stop at Pie Town. That's fine.
Yeah.
But then just trying to make one huge push to get to the end.
I think you actually you might not have to go into the racer mindset because you're probably going to have a few more minutes with every stop back in your pocket, because if you're waiting for me, I'm waiting for you at all these stops, there's always probably 15 extra minutes at every one of these stops, and now you're going to gain that back. So it's hard to switch off that mindset. But if you think back, you're originally going to do this by yourself. You didn't know you were going to meet me,
right?
I didn't know I was going to meet you. So whatever decision you make to keep going, it'll be the right decision for you as well. But
we've done 31 days of bikepacking in some of the most wild, remote, spectacular areas of the country. Like, that's not nothing. I mean, that on its own is a hell of a trip. Like, so when you're flying out today, I mean, you've done a huge thing. It doesn't matter like how far the route goes. If you had signed up for this trip and it ended here, like the route ended here, I mean, I think it's a big party that you made here. It'd be a huge celebration.
When I was making some notes last night and updating Instagram and stuff like that, like, it was a bit of a bittersweet thing, because I've accomplished a lot getting to this point, but it's also, it's like there's 1,000 miles left, right? We're over halfway. It's like, maybe I should have finished it, but the other side of the coin is I have to, I've made kind of peace with the fact that one day I'll come back and finish it. Okay, like that's my intent. I like to come back. I like to share with other people the experiences the same way you and I did. I would not do the Tour Divide route. I'll do the GDR route because Tour Divide is very tough. It is the world's longest and toughest mountain bike race, and I agree 100%. I do not dispute that. It's the hardest things I've ever done physically and mentally.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know if I came back to someone, I'd do the Tour Divide, because, like, I suffered. I want to make that.
As long as they take Coco claims, though, okay?
No, and it is weird because it's arbitrarily tough. GDMBR goes through some beautiful areas, and the Tour Divide is like, okay, let's go do this other thing too. Like, we were talking the other night about that. Montana, where we're standing on the hill, we're looking at the gravel road that goes right down into town, and the tour is like, no, let's go climb this hill over here and then do twisty single track. Sure. Why?
Why not?
So, I think, what would you say is the best, like, highlight of the tour so far? If you say getting out of here.
No. The generosity of people. The trail angels, the people we've ran into along the way, sleeping in a church basement for a small donation, right? Kind of restores your faith in humanity a little bit. That there's a lot of goodness out there, and people wanting to help, and just people shouting encouragement from the side of the road and fist pumping, and
Yeah.
walking up to you in the hotel lobby and saying, "Hey, you're the blind guy."
I still.
Yeah, people recognizing you now because
Yeah.
you're social media status.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's the people, right? Whether
Yeah.
it's the riders or observers or just you walk into a hotel lobby and people ask where you've come from, and they're shocked that you've ridden 65 miles, and you tell them you actually rode from Banff,
Yeah, right.
and then they're just floored, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, how about you?
I think that is a great answer, because I was thinking like, what event happened, but this has been way more social than I ever expected. I came out here expecting to go day one. We're rolling out with 200 people. We get strung out like any other race, and that's it. I'm on my own for the next 30, 35 days. Teaming up with you. Like the nights that the people that we fogged with, characters we met, like Jay and Tyler and like all those guys.
Rowdy.
Team Rowdy. Yeah, it's been amazing. It's awesome. And really unexpected surprise. So it's been a huge highlight. I will also put in their scenery. I expected amazing scenery. I didn't expect it every day. And it's been like every day and it's something different every day. Or even within days. One minute you're going through these prairies, next minute you're in a mountain, next minute you're in a desert, and next minute you're back in the prairie. Every time I felt bad, and we talked before about the highs and lows of this thing emotionally. It's a constant. You look up and there's snow-capped peaks, or there's this desert that goes on for hundreds of miles in any direction, and you're just this little speck of this tiny in this giant landscape. And the geology buff in me, seeing these rock formations and buttes and mesas and all this stuff, it's really cool.
Yeah, it's North America's big.
We know how big now.
Yeah, we have pretty good sense of how big now.
Yeah,
but two provinces, 4 states so far, one more state to go. It's pretty amazing.
It is.
It just feels a little. It feels strange for me to be, bringing it to an end. But like I said,
I can't imagine what you're going through right now.
Well, what I'm going through is how am I going to get my bike in that box?
Right.
but the other part of this is why am I putting it in the box? I should keep going. But no, I have things to do when I get home, and this has been part of the reason why I came here is to figure out what things I need to do when I get home. So that came pretty quickly to me.
Yeah, today you're bike packing. Instead of bike packing, you're packing a bike.
Packing. Pardon the pun.
Yeah.
Looking
fun.
Yeah.
But still have more coffee to drink, so.
Yeah, there's more coffee to drink and a bike to pack, and yeah, it's been an amazing experience,
dude. It's one of the trip it's been for me.
Thank you.
Here's where we get all weepy. Or I get all weepy.
Same here.
It's Tour Divide.
Yeah, there's a few tears on the Tour Divide.
So you're like book 1. So tiny chapters. Time for book 2. Your book 2 will be next year or the year after?
Probably the year after, I think. Unless I chunk it down into smaller chunks. Just because it's a lot. It's a huge commitment of time.
Yeah, still 1,000 miles to go.
Still 1,000 miles to go, right? And not one of these miles has been easy.
140 a day. You could get that done.
Yeah. Remember, it's further from me because I'm doing in kilometers.
Oh, that's right. Decimeters.
Yeah, decimeters. Yeah. And who else will I be able to give Canadian trivia to highlights?
More about Canada on this trip than I have in 47 years before.
Hope it helped.
Lesson 1: learn Gordon Lightfoot to avoid bears.
Yeah. Well, I should probably go and packed up.
Yeah, and you've got shuttle coming in Flowers.
Flowers, yeah. Well, thanks again. It's been plugs this is the end of our friendship. This is just the beginning.
Yeah.
And
I don't know what type of Subaru you're going to get. It's driving me nuts.
Outback. I know you want me to get WRX, but like the Outback is Outback.
Seen those roads over there.
Yeah, we'll get the Wilders edition. Okay. Some skid plates.
All right. We'll allow it.
Sounds good.
All right.
Well, good luck with your fundraising. Hope you hit your target quickly, and have a great rest. Whatever the next couple days brings, hope it goes well.
Thanks. It's been great.
Yeah, has it.
All right. Let's kill these cameras before I lose it.
Don't look before you leave. What you give, you get to keep. So long, farewell, bye-bye. Let's have a toast for those lost old eyes.